Right guys, hope you're all well, hope you're all keeping safe. Today we got a ton of news on upcoming changes to the summit with State of the Game. I mean, there are some really great changes here, guys, that pretty much address the major concerns over replayability from this new mode. On top of that, we got some other changes coming with TU11 as well, so I just want to get straight into this one. If you want to support me, the best thing that you can do, and it's completely free, is just watch the video all the way through. You can like, subscribe, comment, that's appreciated as well. And with that said, let's get into this. So as usual, guys, I've got my bullet points here. I'm going to go through it. There is going to be a lot of this video where I'm just going to insert State of the Game, which I'm going to edit and cut up as best I can, because there was a pretty detailed presentation, and it's best that you just see it firsthand so that you know exactly what it is we're getting. But to start off with, we had Hamish, Mackenzie and Johan. There was a maintenance performed yesterday. You can go check out the maintenance notes. I may just include them in the video here, guys, so if you want to pause the video here, then you'll be able to see those. And there's also an unscheduled maintenance coming tomorrow at 10 AM CEST, where it's going to fix an issue where some people are not receiving Apparel keys. I believe I've had this issue myself as well. They did say the fix will not be retroactive, granting you the keys tomorrow. However, next Tuesday there will be a retroactive grant, which is going to reward you with those keys. So you can continue to grind, knowing full well that if you don't get them now, you will get them next Tuesday. Hamish then said that this is a PowerPoint driven stream. They said that it's going to be a lot of it's about Summit changes. Summit is obviously, these changes are all coming with TU11.1, and they're tentatively aiming for an October 20th release for TU11.1, so just 2 weeks away. And then they basically just moved on to the PowerPoint, and as I said, I'm going to insert it here because it's lengthy. I'm going to try and edit it as much as possible to make it as short as possible. But here it is. So for 11.1, we're looking to address a lot of the topics brought up by the community during the PTS waves, and also since TU11 launched. And so we really want to create that experience of grinding from floor 1 to 100 with your own customized challenge and rewards. And so, yeah, what we're going to talk about today is the difficulties, the directives, your targeted loots, and some other improvements that we've made to the summit.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of it.
Yes, indeed. So you all know and love the elevator menu, but you need to really start rethinking how you view the Summit game mode now, because in 11.1 there are no rally points. It's a completely different structure to the game mode, and so you will no longer see this elevator menu anymore. Instead, the new way that you'll introduce the way that you kind of play the mode is you'll come to the elevator, and you'll see right here that I was previously playing on got up to floor 34 in the summit, and I was playing on heroic difficulty, and I had two directives active. I had cool skills and scavenge skills at the same time active. But right now I want to change the settings for my summit experience. So I come into here and I can set my difficulty. And so, as you'd expect, next slide, you can set normal through legendary difficulty, and I will start from floor 34 with that difficulty set. But I also want to change my directives. And so when I go ahead into my directives, you will see that we make available to you all 9 directives that we've released thus far. Which, you can create a lot of interesting combinations. For me, I really think like the cool skill scavenge skills, if you're playing aggressively, can be a really interesting combination. But I know the thing that chat is going to love is the additional targeted loot chance.
Yeah, I was just going to say, let's take a quick breath, because I see a lot of people in chat already pointing it out. I saw a lot of questions. Zurgens is asking, why though? And then some people are talking already about targeted loot chance bonus.
Yes.
I brought this up with you before the stream about the math behind that.
Yeah.
Do we want to go in depth on that? I mean, this is more of a Nikki question, but how is that bonus affected?
Yes. So the way that targeted loot works is that each difficulty increases the chance of getting targeted loot. So, legendary has the highest chance of dropping targeted loot. Normal has the lowest. The directives, this is throughout the game, not just specific to Summit, will add a bonus to that difficulty modifier. So, if you have hard with one directive, it's not going to be as much as challenging, but it's still going to be more than the hard baseline. But if you stack up maybe 5 or 6 directives, then you'll start to kind of hop difficulties as far as the chance of targeted loot. And so, we really wanted to make directives something that people want to use. We know the XP wasn't enough, and so hopefully this makes them more enticing.
I see Fraku's question, through the whole game, PogChamp?
Yes. So this applies to directives in missions, in the open worlds, in the Summit. It's directives everywhere.
Great. All right, let's move on.
Yes. And so you see here, I have changed from my original setup when I was playing last of heroic and 2 directives to now legendary with 3 directives. And I can just go ahead and confirm that change, and then I'll hop in and start playing from there. You might have had the question, I don't know, I didn't see in the chat. You can turn on all 9 at once. I don't know who's going to be able to do all 9 with legendary.
Well, we know the community's crazy. They will definitely do it tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow, but the day it comes out, they'll knock it out of the park.
It will happen.
I'm looking for Pockets is already saying challenge accepted. Yes. It's going to be intense. All right, what's next?
Okay, so yeah, this is just kind of overview of what I just talked about. You get to select your own difficulty and directives. You choose your challenge, and then the increased targeted loot chance from directives. It also applies to the open world and missions, and directives still increase XP as well.
Great.
So, at the beginning, I kind of mentioned that the elevator menu is gone. So how would this work? And so here's an example of how you could play through the Summit. So everyone starts on floor 1 after the update. And so you'll start at floor 1 on Tuesday maybe, and you'll play through 36 floors with your friends on Legendary and 4-player co-op. You quit, you come back on Friday, and because you know how respawning works currently in the Summit, it's every 3 floors and on boss floors. So you'll restart at floor 34. You could have changed the difficulty and the directives you have. You could be playing with a slightly different group of friends, as long as it's still the the same group of people being the party leader. And then you'll play up to floor 80 maybe. And the boss fight there is really tough. And so you come back on Saturday and you grind your way up a bit further, up to floor 99. On Sunday, you come back alone, you do it, and then once you've finished the summits, you restart back from floor 1 always. And so it's really this climb from 1 to 100, but throughout this climb, you can be changing the difficulty as you want.
I just want to point out to people that this is an example of how it could be played. This isn't like a reset on these days. Please do not read it like that. Mackenzie's just trying to give you an idea of how you could change around the way that you experience it.
Yes. Yeah, this is like an extreme example of all over the place as far as
Cool. All right.
Oh.
Moving on.
While you're climbing up the summits, while you still have a single difficulty set, it will get more challenging. And so that's what we're calling threat scaling. And so you'll see here that the number of lieutenants, like mini bosses, on a set of 10 floors will increase the higher up in the summits you get. So from 21 to 30, you face only 1 lieutenant on floor 26, and then once you get to floor 30, you face a single boss. Whereas up on floor 71 to 80, you will face 3 mini bosses. And then the final floor has 3 bosses on it rather than just 1. And so, and also along the way, you're also getting more elites the higher up in the summit you get. So there's, a subtle gradual increase in difficulty the higher up you get, which, that's something that we still wanted to maintain with the summit, was this idea that like the higher you climb, the tougher it gets, just because that's a cool narrative experience. Yeah.
All right, what else? I'm not sure how close we are to the end of the presentation.
We're getting there. There's still writing tools, yes. So here we just wanted to cover the stuff that I just talked about. With the update, everyone will start over again at floor 1. Rally points are gone. You climb at your own pace. Once you finish floor 100, you will start again from floor 1, and you repeat that cycle of 1 to 100 over and over again. The new threat scaling, higher floors equals more bosses and elites, and you can resume on checkpoints. So as you saw highlighted there, you start from like the multiple of 3 things and the boss floors. And so that means that there's more frequent checkpointing. And so you can stop and come back on floor 34 or 97 or, wherever you currently are at. And you don't have to worry about losing progress.
Okay, cool.
But I know what everyone's thinking right now. What about the loots? Can I influence what loot I'm getting? And so you'll see here the increased targeted loot allocation right now is Hunter's Fury, which is, we currently don't have specific loot allocation for gear sets, so that's new, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe in the bottom you can see that you can select your targeted loot. So if we go ahead and go to the next slide. You'll see, yes. Yeah, you can select your targeted loot within the summit.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot in there. So
yeah,
people really have the option to grind what they want.
100%. Yes.
Nice.
You get to select any of these. You can change this whenever during the climb. So if you go ahead to the next couple slides, you'll kind of see here that you could switch it to Bellstone Armory if you want to grind that. Oh no, it's fine to go a couple more. So yeah, you can change it whenever. One thing to note, like the personal target loot, that's specific to the summit, but you notice that we split out the gear sets into individual allocations. That applies to the normal rotation. And so what that means is you could see Lincoln having True Patriot as its gear set. But if we go to the next slide. So this is personal target loot. And so here's an example of some people playing together, and you'll see that each of them can set their own target loot. They can change it whenever they want. When they get the item that they've been chasing, they can switch over to a different chase.
Interesting. Okay. That's good. That was my next question, is their personal loot. I'm seeing a lot of feedback in chat. Okay, what is this?
Yes. So we have a weekly project for the summit as well. And so, each week you'll get rewarded for completing the summit on any difficulty. You'll get an exotic cache, a named item. If you still have blueprints, you'll get those. If you have specializations, you'll get the points for those. So it's just another reward for playing the summits on a regular basis.
Cool. I'm seeing a lot of people in chat. Mr. Mikey's is saying, I might actually play now. Nice. There's a lot of good stuff. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, T3 Feathers is saying, we'll have to see how it goes, and that's true, and always the case for everything that we do. That is, is this the last slide?
No, there's still a few more, but
okay, Mackenzie. Okay.
Yeah.
Keep them going.
Just you'll see here. This is floor 100. You'll see that there are no more windows on the door because those were exploited.
Okay.
So no more windows on the doors, but you'll see right now, here I am on floor 900 with hard difficulty and all 9 directives.
Sorry guys, I know that was long, but I had to include most of it because editing stuff out you would have missed stuff and that just wouldn't have been helpful for you. But I have to admit guys, these changes so far, they look amazing. I'm excited to see how it goes when it does come out, and I'm looking forward to more changes they can make specifically to the presentation of this mode in the future. They then moved on to talk about Ridgeway's Pride, which is the exotic tied to the summit. And what they've done is they've heard the news about maybe it not being as good as what people would like. So they've increased the radius on the main talent to 15 meters instead of 10 meters. And they've also buffed the repair rate significantly, as you can see. So now at 5 enemies, it's 48%. I believe in the current live game, it's actually only at 25%. So that's almost 100% buff. At that point, they also included this additional image about the summit, where they confirm there's more objectives coming with TU11.1, quicker laptop interaction animation, which is really great news because that's one of the most frustrating things within this mode. It says holding shade crates are going to be more beneficial, and there's going to be new UI notifications about exotic fire teams and bosses, etc. as well. They then also said here that Ridgeway's parts drop based on the floor number, and there's going to be an increased drop chance. Based on the data mining that I've seen, the drop chance is currently at 20%. However, it may be way lower than that from what I can tell, because I doubt very much they will want to increase it from 20%. But they are increasing the drop chance, which is also good. And the quest now only requires neutralizing 2 hunters and 2 rogues, because they felt that it wasn't the way it currently works could be completed in a full group, a full-man co-op group in one kind of rogue encounter, whereas a solo player that couldn't happen. You'd have to wait for 2 encounters, and so it was kind of out of balance, and that's why they've changed that. They then also included this part here, which says that loot crates, the reset are going to reset if they're encountered again. If you go in the summit now, you'll find that if you go back over the same kind of levels, that the loot crates, they are already kind of taken. So this should fix that. You're going to be able to select matchmaking without reloading. The mega map will have the correct tabs like bounties and stuff like that. There's going to be various UI and map fixes. They've improved the loot from the final 100th floor enemy. And the White Tusk are also going to be taught how to hold the guns properly, because you may have seen the videos where they've just held them really, really wrong. So this should fix that as well. There was a question about the firewall conflict bug, which they said they're going to be fixed with TU11.1 as well. So that's good news, and I believe that's in it's in PvP. Then it moved on to discuss the new Apparel event, Last Resort. I did cover this yesterday, so I'm not going to go over everything here. I'll insert the images of the new Apparel event. I have to say, and I said this in yesterday's video, this is by far the best Apparel event they've done so far. And it's this type of apparel that people want. We don't want flip-flops and short shorts and a raincoat. We want this kind of tactical, really appealing apparel that kind of fits within the game. So really, really good about that. They confirm there's no PvP news as usual, and I suspect there's going to be no PvP changes with TU11.1. And then they went also on just to say that, and I think they're just going over what they've said before, that TU11, the gear sets being their own kind of loot allocations, that's going to be game-wide. The directive changes are also going to be game-wide as well, but the selection of personal targeted loot is only going to be specific to the summit. But that's it for today's video, guys. Thanks very much for watching. I'm very happy with all of these summit changes. Like I said, I really do hope they invest some time now in the presentation of this mode, just to make it feel like you're actually climbing a skyscraper. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Until the next one, epic out.